These are the houses that I got from Target. They come in different shapes and sizes. And basically what I am going to do is take some markers. I have some paint markers and I have some permanent markers. And I'm going to recreate like a gingerbread house, but on the wood houses with markers. Now, after I started pulling my pens out, I realized that my paint pens had actually dried out. This is me testing them to see if they work. I was originally planning on doing white with black and red, which are my colors for this year. But I ended up having to use the permanent markers. And this is me looking at gingerbread houses on Pinterest to kind of get an idea of how I want to decorate the houses. So I'm pulling up my Pinterest account and looking at gingerbread houses. It took a minute for it to come up, but I did finally get to scroll through it and find some ideas that I could put on paper. So now the real fun begins. I am going to start making designs on my wood houses. And this one I used the red marker and a green permanent marker. And I basically just went red, green, and put little dots to kind of like represent like maybe little candies. I'll be honest with you guys, I've never decorated a gingerbread house before, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head and from the pictures that I saw on Pinterest of how I actually wanted it to kind of look. So I did that for the whole house, and then I moved on to the next house with a different design. Here is where I get to almost the end of doing all of the houses. And after I put the dots on all of the different ones, I think I had one more house left to do out of the bundle that I had. And I kept the other side blank because I actually plan on doing something a little different on the other side. And you'll see that pretty soon. So here I am doing the last of the houses. I decided to do like a curlicue with green up at the top of the roof line just to give it a little bit more oomph or dimension. So now it really looks like a house from a Christmas village. And I did the dots on some of them, and then a few of them I'm going to do something a little different. I tried to make each house just a little bit different. Some of them have some of the same details, but I didn't necessarily want each house to look exactly the same. So some will have dots at the top, like lights on top of your home, and then some have like the curlicue look so that they can be like the top of a roof. And this one I tried to do like a little reef on top, and I even put a red bow on it. It didn't quite turn out like I wanted. I am not an artist by any stretch of the imagination, but I still think it's kind of cute. Maybe what I would have done differently maybe is to have gotten like some little miniature reefs, like real garland reefs, and then glued that to the house. That might have looked better. So here I am putting the finishing touches on the last of the houses. I ended up getting 2 sets of the wooden houses from Target because I want to create like a village, and 1 set would not have been enough. So you'll see here that I'm putting dots on a set that's the same size as the first set, but each house is a little different. None of them are exactly the same. And so you'll also see when I finish this that I'm going to put a little added detail at the end that none of you who know me should be surprised at. So I decided to add a little special detail to two of the houses. If you know me, you know I love Disney. And so basically I decided to add a little Mickey head, a little hidden Mickey at the top of my house. And I did it on two of the houses just for the fun of it. I just couldn't resist it. Now this one, originally I wanted to do like a candy cane peppermint swirl at the top of it. It did not go as planned. Again, I am not an artist. So I ended up just kind of filling the red in and leaving it. And by this point, I knew that I was actually going to do something entirely different with the houses, which you will see at the end, because I just didn't like quite how it had turned out. It's kind of cute, but it wasn't really fitting in with what I envisioned for the village that I was putting together. So you'll see at the end what I ended up doing as an alternative. So after I had done the houses with the markers, I really didn't like it, and I decided to go with my second idea, was basically to spray paint them with snow and give them like snow cap rooftops. And this is really basic, but it really looks good. I basically just turned them over and used the blank side and sprayed them. I would suggest maybe putting them like in a box to spray them. I sprayed them on top of my table, and I did get spray in places that I really didn't want it, and some of the fumes were a little stronger than I was expecting from such a small can, but I really like how they turned out. I actually got this idea from my daughter because she actually bought the same houses for herself. She used hers a little differently than the way I use mine. I might even insert a picture as to what she did with them just to give you a different idea. I'm pretty sure that you'll be able to find similar houses like this next year. So I just decided to go a whole nother route with my houses than I originally planned. I still like the gingerbread idea, and I may even paint the other side next year to give it a different look. But yeah, I completely went different with what I originally planned, and that's okay. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe it gave you some ideas for maybe next year to do a Christmas village. I think next year I'm going to add a couple of more trees to my village, and maybe even a few more houses. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And until I see you the next time, have a very blessed day.